welcome back to my channel where we're about that breaking cycles life. Guys, it's another Thursday, so you know what that means. It's Trivia Thursday today. So stick around to the end of the video and we will see what today's trivia question is, okay? It's a beautiful morning and I really hope you guys had a great week. And if you didn't, please at least let's thank God that we have life. You know, not many made it to this week. Right, guys? So today our devotional is coming from the book of Luke, and it is Luke chapter 8, verses 40 to 48. And it says, "So it was, when Jesus returned, that the multitude welcomed him, for they were all waiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue. And he fell down at Jesus' feet and begged him to come to his house. For he had an only daughter, about 12 years of age, and she was dying. But as he went, the multitude thronged him. Now a woman having a flow of blood for 12 years, who had spent all her livelihood on physicians, and could not be healed by any, came from behind and touched the border of his garment. And immediately her flow of blood stopped. And Jesus said, 'Who touched me?' When all denied it, Peter and those with him said, 'Master, the multitudes throng and press you, and you say, Who touched me?' But Jesus said, 'Somebody touched me, for I perceived the power going out from me.' Now when the woman saw that she was not hidden, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared to him in the presence of all the people the reason she had touched him, and how he was healed immediately. And he said to her, 'Daughter, be of good cheer. Your faith has made you well. Go in peace.'" Now, as you can tell from the title, I asked the question, what kind of faith do you have? Is it passive-aggressive or aggressive? Now, today we're going to speak about the passive-aggressive faith, because when I was reading this, because, you know, in my devotional this morning, this was the chapter I landed on for my devotional. And when I read it and I saw this part, it came to me, well, God brought it to me that, you know, not all my kids are the same. And not everyone is like a Shanique who is bold and will go out there and be a warrior, right? But there are some people that are passive-aggressive, just like this woman. And that's who we're focusing on. There's not everyone's going to be a Jairus that will come up and ask so boldly. But some people are just as passive as this lady right here. And it's so cute to me because I just love how God facilitates every personality type. He makes the way so that the diversity that he created can all come to him and we can all be on the same, like how can different persons be on the same playing field or on the same level ground so that we can all come to him and ask him? Because we all have that opportunity to come and ask him. It's not just for Shanique or Jairus to go and ask him to move mountains for him. He made the way that even this lady who has been struggling for 12 years with menstrual, hey, I really feel it for her because I don't know how she did that. But you know, it was for God's glory, right? And it just makes me say, wow, God, like you're so amazing that you facilitated her, because it's not just, you see, he was on his way to help Jairus' daughter, right? And yet he stopped and he made it seem like she was the only one there. That's what I said in my previous video, on Sunday's video. It's like, I told you, I was joking with my friend. Like, whenever you're talking to him, it just seems as if you're the only one he cares for. But we all know that he cares for each and every one of us. And that's just his sovereignty. That he can just make each and every one of us feel as if we are his only child. And that it's so personalized that only he could do that. Because I don't know how I share myself among so many people. Like, how does he do it? Like, he's just amazing. That's why he's God, right? And he makes you feel as if you are the only one he sees. and there is no one that can compare to you. There is no one that can be like you. You are just you, and he loves you for who you are, right? And many of his children are like this, like the passive aggressive woman that went for healing. But guess what? She still exercised the faith. Now, what I usually observe about the passive the passive type of people is that they're usually afraid to go and just step out, like put their foot out into the water and try, right? But this is a prime example of how you can do that, right? It's not that she went out and she was in front of the crowd and everyone saw her. What did she do? She hid herself and she was still going through the crowd. She put herself in the vicinity. You know, when we are having faith, God doesn't necessarily want you to be in the spotlight, but just listen to him and go in the space that he wants you, or just go where the miracle is supposed to happen, or just place the situation in his hand. And he's like, God, I'm not necessarily going to be so bold about it, but I'm just going to touch your garment here. Like, let's say, what example can I give? Like the example of, I would possibly say me and singing. That's the best example, personal example I can give right now. And maybe you can apply it to your life too. There is something that you are shy about, right? Or that's a bit embarrassing for you. And that's me and singing, right? Like, I love to sing. But oh my gosh, when you put me in front of a crowd, like, go crazy. I go crazy, right? So I'm like, okay. But here's the difference. He wants that level of faith to say, at least let me, if I ask Shanique to go and sing at this place, maybe she will go. And it's the fact that I placed myself in the vicinity. It doesn't always have a good outcome. Let me tell you that for sure, because my nerves get the best of me. But the effort is what he's looking for. And many passive people, they just speak themselves. Well, they allow the devil to speak them out of actually just putting their foot there. And that is what he's trying to get to you through this story. That's what I believe he's trying to get to you. He's like, you don't need to be in front of a crowd or anything, but at least put yourself in the vicinity. At least try, so that when you are doing the thing that you asked me to do, let me heal you from your nervousness. That's me. Right? Let me heal you from your debt. Just go and start that business. You don't need to be bold. You don't need to be out there and everything. You can be shy. God can have shy entrepreneurs, right? There's introverted people, right? Just go and start something, and then you will get accustomed to it, and he will let that fear go away, because it's just by touching his hem, that she got healed, right? Because she made that step to touch his hem. And he turned around and made it seem as if she was the only person that existed. And he healed her of all the pain that she has been going through. Like, the best way I can really put this is, especially for me, I remember, like, it was really a struggle for me. It took me years to even get up on my church, in front of my church, and sing. Right? My mom always pushed me. I told you guys the story before. And someone asked me again, and this is like after many failed attempts. And when I went up there, I was praying. I was like, yeah, God, me and singing, how it stay. But I went up there, and he healed it in that moment, because I still get shy up to this day. I won't even lie to you. But in that moment, when I was singing in front of them that day, I was like, oh my. And people came to me, they were crying, they were like, wow, it was such a beautiful song. I was like, okay, that's so sweet. Me now, I was there up there nervous, but it was God who calmed me and sang through me, right? And He can do the very same for you. Like, if you want to start a business, don't be like, oh, I'm not the person who likes to showcase myself and all of this. I like to be in the background. Yeah, maybe you need to start touching the hem of His garment. And you realize how much of an extrovert you are. You don't even understand, because every single person has an extroverted side. And it's just by putting your foot there and starting. And that's what He wants, right? He wants us to just have this level of passive aggressive faith. If there's healing in your family, that if there's healing that needs to be done in your family, what are you doing? Like, guys, just say, God, step in right now. Don't be like, I know there are people with more with harder trials. Maybe you can come to me a bit later. No, 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 no. Go and touch His garment, because you would think that Jairus' situation would be would be bigger than her situation, right? But guess what God did? He stopped. He turned around, made her feel like she was His only princess. And He said, baby girl, your faith has made you whole. He stopped and turned and gave her the attention needed. And He healed her in that moment, because she actually stepped out in her passive, aggressive, cute, adorable way, right? You don't need to be as bold, and you don't need to be a warrior like Shanique sometimes, right? Or like a Jairus and go up and ask. He likes that too, but he facilitates all personalities, right, guys? So she went and she quietly, and she's like, kind of need help still. And it was just the fact that she came out. She didn't even say anything. She just came and she looked at Him. Oh, well, she touched His garment, but in my head I'm like, you can be like, God, and He already knows. But just the fact that you came, it makes the difference to say, okay, she really wants the help. Let me help her. Because you need to want the healing just as much as He wants to heal you. Right, guys? So, yeah. That's really my lesson from this story that I learned this morning. And I'll speak about the aggressive nature next week, because, sometimes Shanique is passive aggressive, and sometimes, like in certain situations, I'm like, you just silent and just be like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? And then sometimes I'm like, listen to me, right? Listen to me. And we sit down and we have a conversation, right? But that's just dependent on the trial that we're dealing with. Sometimes I'm passive aggressive, sometimes I'm bold, like out there bold, that sometimes I have to be like, check yourself, Shanique. You're a bit too bold right now. But with respect to Him, because He is God. Let's not forget, in our aggressive nature, which I'll speak about next week, that we don't disrespect God. We remember that He is still sovereign. He is our God, and He can definitely kill soul and body, right? That level of respect should be there, right? But even in the passive aggressive nature, it's like that. It's translated like, what you doing? Or you kind of know the situation. I need your hand right now. Yeah. So don't think that because you're a quiet person or you're introverted that you can't step out and do something great for God. You can. And it just takes that step of faith, like this lady. That step of faith, and you'll see God heal you in any situation that you're dealing with. Okay, guys? So 15 minutes, sorry. I'll see you on Sunday, guys. I know it's time for Trivia Thursday. Bye-bye.
Hi again, guys. It's Trivia Thursday time, and today's trivia is behind the quote, "Note to self, I am going to make you so proud." I hope we can learn the lesson from today's devotional and remind ourselves that we ought to make that step of faith, and even in our passive nature, make sure that we make ourselves and God proud. Now, today's trivia question is, all I'm saying is, in the court of law, I'd be innocent. She took it first. What was I supposed to do? You the one that made her anyway. Can you guess who our Bible character for this week is? We'll see you on Sunday. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's encouragement, and I hope you guys are ready for the day ahead. Now do me a favor and press that like button and subscribe button if you are new, so that we can get more of this positive Christian content out into the world, okay? And I'll link my daily devotional playlist right here and my Let's Talk playlist if you want to tackle some social issues, okay? So have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.